She carried the coffee tray like she was invisible. But when the general's eyes caught the flash of her Navy SEAL ring, the room froze. This was no ordinary server. This was Emma, and in 72 hours lives would depend on her secret past. Emma balanced the coffee tray with practiced care, the handles digging into her palms. The polished corridor of the Pentagon stretched endlessly before her, its silence broken only by the faint squeak of the cartwheels. 3 months had passed since her world had collapsed. Once she had briefed commanders before dangerous missions. Now she poured cream and sugar for men who barely looked up. Her uniform was plain, the name tag reading Emma, Catering Services. To them she was a shadow, but beneath her sleeve lay the scar of a bullet that had burned through her flesh in Kandahar. And under her shirt, hidden on a chain, rested a Navy SEAL ring. She touched it sometimes as if to remind herself she wasn't a ghost. She stopped outside Conference Room A. Through the window she saw maps, folders, grim faces. A high-level briefing was about to begin. She knocked. "Enter," a voice barked. The air shifted when she pushed the cart inside. Conversations hushed. She knew this routine well. Be quick, be silent, be invisible. "Coffee?" she asked softly, moving around the oval table. Most didn't glance up. They scribbled notes, whispered about hostages in some distant valley. Emma's mind couldn't help it. She caught the fragments, rearranged them, ran scenarios. Her training never slept. A man near the head of the table droned on about why traditional approaches would fail. Terrain too rough. Roads impossible. Emma silently disagreed. A small team could do it. 4 or 6 at most. She had done worse before. At the head sat General Hayes. His sharp eyes scanned papers, his jaw set with fatigue. When Emma reached him, she poured carefully. "Thank you," he murmured. She nodded, stepping back until her sleeve snagged on a folder. Pages spilled. She dropped to her knees to collect them. Her chain slipped. The seal ring caught the light. For 1 second it gleamed. Emma's heart stopped. She shoved it back under her shirt, face burning. But General Hayes had seen. His gaze sharpened. She handed back the papers, forced herself to keep moving. Her pulse hammered in her ears. She reached the door, desperate to vanish. "Miss Martinez," Hayes's voice cut across the room. "Stay a moment." The room went still. All eyes turned. Emma froze, her hand on the handle. "Yes, sir," she said, her voice calm though her stomach knotted. Hayes leaned back, studying her with unnerving precision. "You looked at those papers. Tell me, what do you think of the situation?" The room erupted with disbelief. A catering girl asked for tactical input. Colonel Peterson objected, but Hayes silenced him. "I want her answer." Emma's choices collapsed into one. She drew in breath. "The terrain favors a small team, sir," she said evenly. 4 to 6 operators infiltrating from the ridges. Guard rotations can be predicted. Extraction depends on timing. Silence, then murmurs. Hayes leaned forward. "And how do you know that?" Emma met his gaze. "I learned it with SEAL Team 7, sir." The room gasped. Hayes's eyes narrowed. "Show me the ring." Emma hesitated. Slowly she pulled the chain free. The trident glinted under the harsh lights. A broken watch ticked in her memory, her last mission before disgrace. Time had stopped for her then. Hayes looked at the ring, then back at her. "Miss Martinez," he said, "you're not leaving this room." "Not yet." The room was frozen, the air charged like before a storm. Emma felt every gaze cut into her. She had just pulled back the curtain on her hidden self, and there was no undoing it now. Hayes examined the ring again before handing her the folder. "Your assessment?" His voice was calm, yet heavy with challenge. Emma spread the papers, scanning the topographical lines. She hadn't touched a mission file in months, but her mind slid back into its old rhythm. Her fingers traced the ridges. "They'll expect an assault from the road. But here," she tapped the higher slope, "a 4-person team could slip in before dawn. Neutralize, extract, gone in 6 hours." Colonel Peterson leaned forward, his face tight. "This is absurd. She's catering staff." Hayes ignored him. "You've done this before, haven't you?" Emma hesitated. "Then Kandahar. 12 civilians. We went in with 4. We all walked out." Murmurs rippled across the table. Some skeptical, others intrigued. Hayes's eyes locked on hers. "If I push this upstairs, politics will shred me alive." "Why were you reassigned?" The broken watch on her wrist pressed cold against her skin. She had kept it as a reminder. The minute hand had frozen on the day her career stopped. "An intel leak." "Not mine," she said flatly. But the storm needed a scapegoat. Cleared? Yes. Still punished. Yes. The silence stretched. Hayes turned back to the table. Gentlemen, we are wasting time. This woman has just provided the only viable plan. Unless one of you has a better idea. Peterson opened his mouth but closed it again. No one spoke. Hayes snapped the folder shut. Then Martinez is in. She joins the assault team. Emma's chest tightened. A surge of adrenaline. She had waited months to hear those words, but reality weighed heavily too. Hostages, risk, politics. Dr. Walsh, a civilian official, leaned in. General, this could ruin us if it fails. And her presence, Hayes, cut her off. If she doesn't go, those 15 Americans die. I'll take the blame. Emma's empty wallet back in her locker flashed in her mind. 3 months of catering wages, barely covering rent. But none of that mattered now. This was what she was made for. Hayes turned back to her. Martinez, answer me one thing. Are you ready? Emma's pulse pounded. She felt the ring against her chest, heavier than ever. Yes, sir, she said. Good, then prepare yourself. We leave in 24 hours. The room broke into a flurry of orders. But Emma stood frozen, her fingers curling around the broken watch on her wrist. She knew what it meant. Time had started again. Yet in the back of her mind, one truth gnawed. She hadn't faced live fire since her disgrace. Was she still sharp enough? Her throat tightened as the thought burned her. And then the door opened. An officer entered, breathless. General Hayes, he said, his face pale. We have a problem. The terrorists just moved the hostages. The map spread across the table was suddenly useless. The compound circled in red, empty. Hayes slammed his palm down. Where? The officer stammered. Satellite confirms they're moving into the mountains, splitting into 2 groups. The room erupted in anxious voices. Extraction windows vanished. Emma leaned over the imagery, her jaw tightening. They're not fleeing. They're hiding. Higher ground gives them more control. More leverage, Peterson sneered. Or maybe they heard your plan. Emma ignored him. Her eyes followed the faint dirt paths barely visible in the photograph. A dusty road scarred across the mountain, winding like a serpent. She traced it with her fingertip. They'll use this track. It's narrow, defensible. They'll set ambush points. Hayes studied her. Meaning? Meaning if we chase head-on, we die. But she tapped a shaded ridge. A cutoff. We intercept before they reach their stronghold. One chance, the room stilled. Even Peterson leaned closer despite himself. Hayes exhaled. This complicates everything. New terrain. New risks. Still, we can't wait. Emma's heart thudded. This wasn't the clean strike she'd imagined. It was dirt, sweat, jagged cliffs, and hostages dragged like pawns. Martinez, Hayes said firmly. Draw me the intercept plan. She nodded, pushing away fear. Her pen moved fast, sketching insertion points, sniper angles, fallback routes. Every line she drew, she remembered missions past, friends who never returned. The broken watch pressed into her wrist, its silent tick reminding her that time was always running out. Hours later, when the team finally assembled, Chen, the sniper, Williams, the explosives man, Rodriguez, the medic, Emma felt something strange. For the first time in months, she belonged again. Williams clapped her shoulder. Never thought I'd see you in gear again, she smirked faintly. Never thought I'd be serving coffee either. But beneath the humor, her nerves burned. The empty wallet in her locker was nothing compared to the cost of failure here. Lives weighed more than money. Hayes briefed them one last time. Hostages are split. 15 total. 2 groups. You'll intercept the northern track. You'll have 6 hours before reinforcements arrive. Failure is not an option. Emma pulled her ring free from under her shirt and kissed it once before tucking it back. Not for luck. For memory. When they boarded the helicopter, the blades thundered like her heartbeat. She stared out at the night sky, wondering if she was flying toward redemption or her grave. Then, mid-flight, Chen's voice cut through the headset. General, you're not going to like this. Our birds got company. Fast movers, low altitude. Enemy drones. The helicopter lurched violently. Emma's stomach dropped. The helicopter bucked as tracer fire streaked past the windows. The night erupted with light. Evasive maneuvers, the pilot yelled. Emma clutched her harness, teeth clenched. Not this way. Not before they even landed. Chen leaned out the side hatch, rifle braced. 2 drones closing fast. Williams swore. They're hurting us off course. Emma's gut twisted. If they lost altitude here, they'd crash in open terrain. No cover, no chance. Hayes's voice crackled in their earpieces from the command link. Stay calm. Martinez, options? Emma's mind raced. She saw the broken watch again. Seconds frozen. Time demanding an answer. Force them into the canyon, she barked. Pilot, drop low. Make them chase us between the walls. Are you insane? Do it. Their drones lose advantage in tight space. Chen picked them off when they bottleneck. The pilot cursed but obeyed, diving into the jagged canyon. Rock walls blurred past. The drones followed, engines screaming. Now, Emma shouted. Chen's rifle cracked. One drone exploded in a ball of fire, the canyon flashing orange. The second veered, clipping the rock, spiraling down. The helicopter roared forward, free. The team exhaled, but the relief was short-lived. The detour had thrown them miles off course. Williams checked GPS. We're too far from the planned drop. We'll never reach the intercept in time. Hayes's voice returned, tense. Then you improvise. Martinez, you're in command now. Get them there. Emma's chest tightened. Command, not just part of the team. Responsible for all. She gripped her rifle, her ring cool against her skin. The dusty road etched in her memory seemed to mock her. One wrong step and the hostages vanished forever. New plan, she said grimly. We go on foot. Through the ridge. Faster but brutal. Williams groaned. That's suicide. No. It's survival. The helicopter skimmed low, dropping them into black mountain silence. Its blades vanished into the distance, leaving only the wind. Emma looked at her team. 4 shadows against endless rock. We run, she said. And they did. Hours later, sweat soaked her gear, lungs burning thin at altitude. The empty wallet in her locker felt a world away. Now every breath was borrowed credit. Chen froze suddenly, hand up. Through his scope he pointed. Figures, hostages, guards, exactly where she predicted. Emma's chest surged with fierce relief. But then, she counted again. Only 9 hostages. 6 were missing. Emma's eyes burned into the sight of the hostages. 9 bound figures shuffled under armed watch. Terror painted their faces, but 6 were gone. Rodriguez whispered, "Where are the rest?" Emma's gut clenched. Split group. They're baiting us, Williams scowled. We can't split too. Suicide. The broken watch pressed cold against her skin again as if reminding her. Decisions carve fate. She forced calm. We secure these 9 first, then track the others. No one left behind. Chen adjusted his scope. I've got clean shots on 2 guards, Emma nodded. Wait for my mark. They crawled into position. The dusty road below shimmered with faint moonlight, every pebble holding danger. Emma raised her hand. Dropped at Chen's rifle spat. 2 guards dropped silently. Williams planted charges, timing with the chaos. They moved fast, coordinated like old rhythms. Emma stormed the line, weapon raised. U.S. Navy! Stay down. The hostages screamed, panic erupting. One man tried to flee, thinking it a trick. Rodriguez tackled him gently, hissing reassurance. Gunfire cracked from the ridge. More guards surged. Too many! Williams shouted. Emma's mind blazed. She remembered training in the Hindu Kush, the bitter wind tearing her lungs. This was no different. Survival meant momentum. She hurled a smoke grenade, choking the valley in gray. Move, get them out! They dragged the hostages uphill. Emma fired blind, buying seconds. Each second cost her more than money. The empty wallet back in her locker seemed almost laughable now. When they reached a rocky shelf, Emma's lungs screamed. She counted the hostages. 9 safe, but 6 still in enemy hands. Chen panted. We can't chase both groups. Reinforcements are coming. Emma's jaw clenched. She saw faces she didn't know. 6 people out there, terrified, waiting for someone who might never come. No, she whispered. We don't abandon. Hayes's voice hissed through the comms. Martinez, status? Emma hesitated. Then answered. 9 secured. 6 unaccounted. Request permission to pursue. Static. Then Hayes's voice heavy. Negative. Extraction window is closing. Get those 9 out. Emma's throat tightened. The broken watch ticked in her head. Time's cruel joke, sir, she said hoarsely. If we leave them, we've already failed. Silence. Then Hayes. Martinez, this is not a request. Get your people home. Emma stared at the terrified 9 huddled near her. Then at the dark trail where 6 lives were dragged away, her decision burned inside her. She switched off her comm. I'm going after them. The team stared at her. Rodriguez's eyes widened. Emma, you just cut comms with Hayes. Emma's jaw was steel. He'll court-martial me later. If we survive, Chen shook his head. This is madness, Williams grimaced. But it's the right madness, they all knew. SEALs don't leave people behind. Emma studied the terrain. A dusty road carved into the mountain. Lit faintly by lanterns the guards carried. The road seemed endless, swallowing the missing 6. She gripped her rifle. We follow. They moved fast, dragging feet through dust, lungs tearing in thin air. Every step tasted of grit and fear. The broken watch on her wrist pressed harder, a cruel reminder that she was running out of time. Up ahead, voices. Guards taunting captives. A child whimpered. Emma's heart lurched. She hadn't known children were among them. She signaled silence. Chen set up his scope, whispering counts. 4 guards. 2 vehicles. Easy if we're fast, Emma nodded. On 3. The ambush was brutal and swift. Gunfire shredded the night, guards crumpling into dust. Rodriguez rushed to the hostages, cutting bonds, whispering calm. Emma hauled a boy into her arms, his ribs sharp under skin. The woman beside him clutched her empty hands, whispering prayers. The dusty road behind them glowed with headlights. Reinforcements. Go, Emma barked. They scrambled into the rocks, dragging hostages, lungs burning. The gunfire chased them, bullets cracking stone. One hostage fell, screaming. Williams scooped him up, face grim. Emma's chest felt like fire. Her mind screamed to stop, but the broken watch reminded her. Seconds are everything. Finally. Chen's voice hissed. Extraction point Bravo ahead. They burst into the clearing. Vehicles waited, engines growling. Friendly hands reached out, pulling hostages inside. Emma staggered in last, the child still in her arms. Dust coated her face, sweat streaking through it. Hayes's voice thundered through the comms back online. Martinez, you disobeyed direct orders. Emma's throat ached. She met the child's eyes, then looked into the night they had escaped. Yes, sir, she said hoarsely. But they're alive. Silence. Then Hayes's voice softened just once. Good work, Martinez. Now get them home. The vehicles roared forward, leaving the dusty road behind. But Emma knew this wasn't over. She had broken rules, defied chains of command. Her career, maybe her freedom, hung in the balance. The broken watch ticked in her mind. Time would demand its price. And as the headlights carved into the night, Emma wondered, was this her redemption, or the beginning of her final battle? The mountain air tore at Emma's lungs, sharp and thin. Dust clung to her lips, her boots grinding over the jagged path. The missing 6 stumbled beside her, freed but frail, their wrists raw from bindings. Behind them, the valley glowed with headlights, reinforcements, dozens of them. Emma pushed forward, the boy in her arms shivering against her chest. He was light as a bundle of sticks. Every step threatened to break her, but she carried him tighter, as if holding on to the very reason she had chosen defiance. Rodriguez hurried beside her, supporting a limping hostage. We can't outrun vehicles forever, she hissed. I know, Emma rasped. Just get to Bravo. The road twisted endlessly upward, a ribbon of stone and dust. In her mind, Emma saw her broken watch. The second hand was frozen on the day her career died, but tonight, every second she stole mattered. Chen's voice cracked through the headset. Contact, 2 trucks, closing fast. 30 seconds, Williams swore. We'll be cut down before we hit the ridge. Emma set the boy down gently, kneeling so her eyes met his. Run with them, she whispered. Stay close. He nodded, tears streaking through grime. She rose, gripping her rifle. Her ring pressed cold against her chest. The trident glimmered faintly in the moonlight, a reminder of who she was, not a ghost, not a server, but a SEAL. Williams. Roadside charges now, he blinked. We'll blow ourselves to pieces. Not if you trust me. Williams didn't argue. He set the explosives fast, sweat dripping down his brow. Chen lined up shots on the ridge, steady as stone. The trucks roared closer, engines snarling, headlights glaring. Emma stood in the middle of the road, dust curling around her boots. She raised her rifle, the broken watch pressing into her skin, reminding her that time never forgives. At 20 yards, she fired. The windshield of the lead truck shattered. The driver slumped, the vehicle swerving. Williams detonated the charge. An eruption of dirt and flame split the road, swallowing the second truck in smoke and shrapnel. The shock wave flung Emma to the ground. Dust choked her throat. Her ears rang, she rolled, coughing, vision spinning. Hostages screamed. Rodriguez pulled them into cover. Williams dragged Emma up by the arm. On your feet. We're not done. Emma staggered, forcing her legs to move. Behind the smoke, shouts and gunfire crackled. More enemies poured from the wreckage. Chen, she barked. Got you, his calm voice answered. His rifle cracked again and again, each shot precise, each shot buying them seconds. They climbed higher, the road narrowing into jagged stone. The headlights of friendlies finally pierced the darkness ahead. Extraction vehicles waiting at Bravo. Emma's chest burned with a mix of relief and disbelief. They had made it this far. Rodriguez shoved the hostages into the trucks. Williams climbed in after them, checking wounds. Emma lifted the boy again, setting him inside, then she heard it. Engines, dozens more. Reinforcements closing in from below. Chen's voice cut in. They're coming heavy. 50, maybe more. You've got 2 minutes, max.